Two. Hey, everybody, welcome to a short little segment of Nerds Drink Whiskey. Before we go on to the show, I figured it was important to get an interview with the infamous. I have been a fan of this man for many, many, many years, and that's because I had parents that allowed me to buy something called Mad Magazine. This is Mad's Maddest writer, DeBartolo. You also may have seen him on a podcast, a video and audio podcast called GizWiz, as well as Twit, the This Week in Tech. And you also do, is it ABC?
Yes, World News Now.
World News Now.
World News Now.
You're pretty much the gadget guy for World News Now, correct?
For weird stuff.
Yeah, right. Well, that's your thing, though. That's what you're.
I know
so.
the weird stuff, and I like World News Now. I used to be on Good Morning America, but World News Now is the overnight network news, and I like it over there because they have a real sense of humor. You know, the slogan is, "Where more insomniacs get their news than any other network." So. That works for me.
Excellent. So, all right. Now, to start out with, Mad Magazine moved their offices from New York after how many years?
Let's see. Mad started out in 52 or 53 as a comic book and became a magazine. It was 2 years later, issue 23. And then I sold Mad, my first article in 62. Well, I was in high school. And then they bought that, and I started writing more stuff. And then I got to know Bill Gaines, the founder, and they needed something written over the weekend. And Bill says, is it possible for you to do this between Friday and Monday? And I said, yeah, I could do that. And so he said, what can we do for you after I said, I just want to be in every issue. And he said, keep writing, you'll be in every issue. So I've been in every issue for more than 50 years.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. So I think, let's see, I was born in 70, and I think I was pretty much reading Mad Magazine as soon as I could pretty much read. So
that was a year ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So you sir helped teach me how to read. How do you feel about that?
It's great. The funny thing is, a lot of teachers used to write Bill and say, could you make a teacher's guide to Mad? Because kids, we can't get them who won't read anything. We find that they will read Mad, and at least we can get them to start learning from the magazine. Mm-hmm. And Bill's answer was, oh, my God, the last thing in the world we ever want to admit is that there's any redeeming value to Mad. So do it on your own, but we're not going to support education.
Excellent. So now, like I said, I've been a fan of yours since, as Mad's Maddest writer, since probably the mid to late 70s.
Good.
And,
okay.
Then I was shocked to put a name to the face when I started watching Tech. I think were you on Tech TV a little bit?
Yes, I was on Screensavers.
Okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Screensavers. That's right. Okay. Yeah. And he introduced you as a writer of Mad and Mad's Maddest writer, and I was like, wait a minute. This guy wrote for the magazine I grew up on.
And don't forget, 18 years writing The Match Game, Dumb Dora, Weird Willie.
That's right.
Yeah.
So now, as a person that's been involved with Mad Magazine for as long as you have, you still live in New York.
I live in New York.
And they are now in Hollywood. What part of LA?
They're in Burbank.
Burbank, okay.
Okay, so Mad is part of DC Comics, and DC Comics moved out to Burbank like 2.5, maybe even 3 years ago. And no one at Mad wanted to move to California. So Mad stayed in New York, but then last year they said at the end of this year, 2017, the staff is going to Burbank. And everybody is a native New Yorker, so no one went. And so I'm a permanent freelancer there. So it didn't really affect me, but but the rest of the staff is new editors, new art people. I think one of our art people from years ago had moved out to California, so they rehired him. Um, and then, so I didn't know anything of what their plans were. And then during Comic-Con, which I guess was October, Bill Morrison, the executive editor, said, if you have some time when we're in New York for Comic-Con, I'd like to talk to you. And he said, you've been in every issue for 51 years. We'd like that to continue. And I said, great. So I've sold them pieces for Mad 1 and Mad 2, but I'm not there on a day-to-day basis. So only today, because they released it on the Mad website, do we now officially know they're starting over with Mad number 1. So the first Mad is going to be Mad number 1, and they've gone back, and they might have doctored it a little, but they've gone back to one of the earliest Mad logos, kind of I don't know. Did you see it today on Facebook?
Yeah, actually, that was
Yeah.
I think the post that I that I kind
Oh,
of
that's what you
profile.
replied to.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So,
So that's how out of the loop I am. I found out along with everybody else what Mad was going to look like, and Mad number 1.
okay, now I'm trying to remember. I believe you said once that is Al Jaffe still around?
Yes.
Okay,
There are
he is.
there are a couple of carryovers into new Mad that I know of. Tom Richmond, who does a lot of the movie satires, really a super artist, is going to be doing the movie takeoffs, illustrating them. Al Jaffe will still be doing the fold in, and Sergio Aragonis. I actually found out today. I heard I think Bill Morrison was saying it. That Sergio is moving from the marginals to the actual issue. So, if you were a Mad fan, Sergio in every issue did those tiny little marginals. He also did articles.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But now he's going to be doing, I guess, more full-page articles for New Mad.
Okay, and now when is this Mad? When is the Mad 1 of the new Mad magazine? When is that going to be
Mad
available?
1 that I found that out today too. March 22nd is when it goes on sale. So
March 22nd?
April 22nd.
April.
Sorry.
I was going to say okay.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Now, is there? We live in a digital world. Is there going to be a digital version?
Well,
of that?
Mad's been on the iPad for about 5 years, so I just assume that's going to continue. I mean, it will, because if you have a subscription to Mad, you'll automatically be getting new Mad. And I do believe there's also Android version of Mad too.
Okay,
and you can actually do the folding with your fingers, so you don't have to fold your iPad in half.
Sweet.
That's
a bonus.
Some money. Yeah, exactly.
These phones are expensive.
Yeah.
So, all right. Now, before I let you go, why don't we talk real quickly about GizWiz? Where can people find your GizWiz podcast, and what kind of craziness can they expect from it for those who haven't seen it?
All right. So I have 2 websites. GizWiz.biz is where gadgets are, and I do a show with OMG Chad Johnson. If you're a Minecraft fan, you probably know Chad's name. I think he just passed 3 million subscribers to his Minecraft channel. And let's see, last week we did, and I found it was a total disaster, the Easy Cracker, the way to crack eggs in 3 seconds. Every egg that we tried, it just shattered the egg. But I got so many emails this week saying, well, you didn't do it slow enough. You didn't put the egg in exactly right. So we're going to make another video for next week's show. And that's on our video channel, which is gizwiz.tv. So gizwiz.tv, where you can see our show, and gizwiz.biz is where all the gadgets for Leo Laporte and Twit and everything I do, ABC, all those gadgets, and a lot of Mad stuff too, is all at gizwiz.biz.
Okay, and you also do, I believe it's a non-recorded show. You can only catch it live on the Twit network, twittv.tv.
Oh my gosh. Yes. We
Yes,
do a
I
very.
know about that too. I told
Oh
you I
my
was a
God! Yeah,
fan.
we do a very silly show called Giz Fizz PM, and that's on Twit TV, TWIT.TV, and that's usually around 8 o'clock Saturday night, and it's live, and we have a chat room, and we post pictures, and the chat room makes up captions, and I go through my files and I dig out old match game questions, and people answer them. It's just an unofficial, very silly show, but people seem to enjoy it. And that's every Saturday night around 8 p.m. New York time, so 5 p.m. California time. You've done
Excellent.
your homework, Mark. I'm
Well,
impressed.
just I didn't really have to research this interview at all, so makes my life easy. But cool, and of course, what is it? World News tonight is on.
World News Now.
World
World
News
News
Now
Now
is on.
is the overnight network news. But if you go to my website, down the center are all the shows I'm on. And if you go there and just click on the World News Now, you'll find links to all my spots. Or if you go to abcnews.com and type in the Gizwiz, all my spots come up.
Excellent. Well, it has been an absolute honor to speak with you. I've only been waiting, most of my life for this interview. So thank
You are
you very
waiting
much.
for webcams to be invented.
Well, yeah, there's that, and software to record it
And
professionally,
software to
so
record
that
it.
we can. Yeah. So cool. Well, much luck to you, sir. Please keep doing what you're doing, and we will. I will definitely be watching.
Perfect. Thanks so much.
All right. Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Ready?
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey. This time, Jeff has brought Hamilton's Highland. Now, I gotta admit, I know nothing about Scotch other than I'm not a big fan of the Islas.
He's only had one.
I've only had one, and it was so bad. Yeah.
He's had more than that.
I gotta say that one colored my palate rather.
We've had other Islay at.
Oh, really?
Seesaw.
And it's okay, and
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. Okay.
Well, it didn't leave an impression, so obviously you didn't hate it that much.
I didn't hate it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between the different scotches? You got Highland Scotch. You got
Right.
Islay,
So here's
Speyside.
yeah, Speyside, Highland, Islay, and what's the last one? There's 4 regions.
Yeah, it's lowland. No.
You know, it's the Northlands.
Yeah.
Anyway, the Highlands are the Northlands. There's this 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there's like 4. Anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a regional thing.
It
yeah,
is.
it's
Okay.
where on Scotland it's made. Depends. So you can have, and they're known for different features, but that's just kind of the, like we consider a bourbon a certain thing because it's made with corn and comes from Kentucky, but there's a huge range within that subcategory.
Yeah.
So same with all the scotches. Isleys are usually peaty, but there's a huge range. The Highlands are supposed to be kind of more fruity and light, but again, a huge range.
Okay.
So this is one that it was a staff pick at our local liquor emporium, and was cheap enough that I was like, oh sure, if I don't like it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. All right. So now, what was that one? Pulteney, Old Pulteney. What
Yeah.
kind of Scotch is that?
That's the seaside region. It's like an island Scotch. But yeah, Old Pulteney specifically is made on the coast and is just meant to be of the sea and salty and kind
Yeah.
of briny. So even in the region that it's from, it kind of stands out on its own, the way that it's put together.
Is that a single malt?
Yeah, and then the one we had was the 25-year.
Oh, nice. I missed out on that episode.
Yeah, that was
That
good.
was that's a bottle. That's kind of the level that we don't have usually because I don't think any of us make that kind of money.
Yeah.
But We do try and splurge here and there, and I've been warning my wife for a couple months now that I do have my eye on a $500 bottle, just to try it once. We've never covered anything that high, and so I'd like to taste it and see if we can tell the difference. See if it's.
Did have, I think the most we paid
300.
for a shot. Well, no, the most we paid for alcohol was actually we bought individual shots.
Okay.
And it was $50 a shot, if you remember. We went down to the local pub.
Oh.
And we bought you and I went and we bought their $50 shots, and it was so not worth it.
Yeah. Do we remember what that was?
I'd have to look at the menu.
What was the bar?
Just your local.
Pints
and Q's.
Lacey. Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's the one. It's like a 2 to 5 minute walk, depending upon traffic. But
or how many shots you had at the bar.
Well, that's the walk home.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have any nerdy stuff we want to talk about this week? I think now is a good time to mention that we are still looking for somebody to do nerd news for the show. So if you would be interested in doing the nerd news segment of the show, it'd be a weekly thing you'd have to do, because obviously the news gets old. We film these once a month, so that's why we don't have anything nerdy to talk about, because, well, whatever we're filming now, that news would be old by the time this airs. So so if you'd be interested in doing just a short 1, 2, 3, if you can keep it less than 5 minute nerd news thing, just say it in the comments or contact us, and we can go from there. The ladies behind the camera are making me nervous because they're making comments, and I don't know whether I have like something hanging from my nose or what, but anyways,
Hey.
Whatever it is, I'm gonna wash it down with some Highland Scotch. So Ed, you're a Scotch fan. What do you think?
I like it for its price point. I mean, it's a little harsher than, say, something you'd spend a little more money on. Mm-hmm. But it's Scotch. I like it. You can tell it's a lower grade Scotch, but it's good. I mean, it's aged 3.5 years, because that's the minimum for Scotch, and I like it. It's there's nothing foul about it. It doesn't have a lot of soul, but it's not really bad in any way for its price point.
Jeff, you're the one that purchased it. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely Scotch. You can tell, I don't have the words for it, but I'm sure somebody does. As far as when you have a whiskey and it's, there's the bourbons have certain, characteristics that you're like, okay, this is a bourbon. It's kind of the sweeter and the, cornier stuff, and then Scotches have their own unique flavor, and yeah, I tend to like them. So yeah, it's good. I agree with Ed that it's got a little more of the harshness that hasn't aged out. But if you like Scotch, it's got all the things that you're looking for in a Scotch. And I did just notice that on the back of this, it does have all 4 listed regions, which is Speyside, Highlands, Islay, and Lowlands. So the Old Pulteney is a Speyside.
Oh, okay.
The Highlands are what we having. The Islay, or maybe it's Islay. Yeah, and then Islay is the peaty stuff, which you don't like. And then there's the Lowlands.
Okay. Gabe, what's your thoughts of Hamilton's Highland?
Well, to tell you the truth, it is a little bit harsh. I'm also kind of a fan of Scotch myself, so I personally think that it's a little light on the flavor, at least for my taste. But it's sharp, but it's still a little light on that flavor. But for the price point of what it is, it's very drinkable. There's nothing really wrong with it. I can't really say no to it.
Okay. My thoughts. I'm the bourbon fan of the show, I think, and it's not a bourbon. It is a Scotch. but even as a bourbon fan, I got to say there are some things that I like about it. It doesn't have a lot of depth. For the price, though, I don't think you'd expect any too much depth. Yeah. But it wasn't bad. It's not one that makes me run for the can of cola to mix with it. It can be consumed neat. I recommend an ice cube or two, probably. We haven't tried it with an ice cube, but I'm guessing that would probably improve some things. Yeah, but not bad. Now, how much did you say?
It was about 30 with tax, so
okay.
mid-20s.
Okay, all right. So mid-20s. I don't know. Ed, what do you say? Yes for the price?
I think it's great for the price. Personally, okay. For that same price point, I'd go for the Shield Egg. That they have Highlands around the same price, maybe even a couple dollars cheaper. Okay. But I like the Shield Egg a little bit better. But this is really good. I think it's totally worth the money.
For this, yes or no?
It's a yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'll drink it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm going to be the one no vote. Freaking bourbon drinkers. And the wife thoroughly disagrees.
Just has to be difficult.
So, yeah. So
leave it to Mark to be difficult.
But that's the one thing great about our house is, like, if we disagree, we do have totally different tastes in whiskey. So you pretty much can buy anything, and one of us will like it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like either she just goes and I go yeah, or I go ugh, and she goes yeah. And so it makes it kind of nice. So we kind of have her whiskeys and my whiskeys, and you don't have your significant other. Oh man, you drank all my whiskey. Like we don't have that in this house, so it's a good thing. So
yeah, I just have the wife that's oh god, I can't believe you bought another bottle of that stuff that I hate.
Yeah. So
luckily, my girl and I, we like the same thing. We always agree.
So what do you do with it? What do you? No, not always.
Well, on
she's
liquor.
Taking the 2 stars home.
On well, okay. Well, this one time, but I will say she will drink some of the flavored liquors and such.
Yeah.
That I won't drink anymore. But.
So, all right. Well, we have no idea what's happening next week because this is 6 weeks from then. But before we go, I do have an after the bottle. So this bottle has not lasted me near as long as that what was it?
It's Skip Rock Rye.
Yeah, the Skip Rock Rye, which I tried to savor, and it lasted longer because I didn't want it to be gone. This didn't last as long. It was, I gotta say, Jefferson's. There wasn't anything special to it. It was just kind of there.
Was that the one that they took around on the boat?
Yeah. And I mean, it's not bad. But I think if I remember correctly, when we reviewed it just a couple months ago, it was kind of one of those, it's good, but just not worth the price. It was kind of a little overpriced for what you got. So right, as I finished the bottle, I still got to say there's nothing spectacular about it. It wasn't that amazing. I definitely don't recommend. But it was very, very okay. So. Anyways, that concludes this episode and this segment of After the Bottle. So we will see you all next week, and we have absolutely no idea what next week's going to be because we're not filming that for about 4 or 5 weeks from now. So see you then. Bye.